All right, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. We're gonna dive into the Kaiju chapter straight away here. Not too much preamble. Just a few things to touch on, however, before we do that. First being, if you hear any knocking sounds in the background, I apologize. But my neighbor is having some work done, some construction work done next door. So there's been like hammering and some other stuff all throughout the day. It shouldn't be too bad. Should be able to hopefully just drown it out with just my voice. But if you do notice that in the background, that's what it is. I apologize for it, but I can't really do anything about that at this point. Hopefully, it's not too distracting. If I feel like it is too distracting, maybe I'll just cut the video short and like try to re-record or something. But we'll see how well that happens. That aside, apart from that, I'm also planning to do an Ascender read through after this chapter, after finishing up with Kaiju, so look forward to that as well. Without further ado, let us dive straight into it with Kaiju No.8, Chapter 55, by Naoya Matsumoto, with translation by David Evelyn and lettering by Brandon Bovia. And we see with a swing as a saw is cutting into a kaiju. If a damn it! Shell's too hard, the blade's not holding up. Hey Toku, using the heat chainsaws on these feels like a waste of time and money. He's like, yeah, screw it. Cut at the joints. We'll break them down in the bunker. It's like, the way we're swarming these carcasses, I bet we're the ones starting to look like ants. And you see the kaiju cleanup crews are hard at work on all the ant kaiju trying to break them apart so they can free up the roads and everything else. And you see this very. I feel like we're supposed to know who this is, but I cannot for the life of me recognize whoever it is. But you see this rotund, blonde haired fellow pulling up. As you have I wonder what's going to happen now. Excuse me. You go, what was that? It's like, the Isao Shinomiya got taken out. Back when I was a kid, I believed he was invincible. There are already people fleeing the country to avoid another disaster caused by number 9. We should hurry up ourselves and get. And you hear, you dumbass! I'm not running away. If we run away, who's going to clean up the carcass after the defense force kicks number 9's ass? And you see the other two just being taken aback by this, as was it Toku? Yeah, Toku just stomps off angrily with a hoof. And you have a Blondie going, that Toku can be pretty cool sometimes. It's like, despite being a drunk and a gambling addict who owes me 50 grand. He's like, shut your traps. Look, the Japanese Defense Force ain't gonna take this lying down. Ain't that right, Kafka? And you see at Ariake Maritime Base, you see you have a ha! As Kikoru's trading blows with Blonde Tips, Shinonome, platoon leader Shinonome. And you see a pwam 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 poof as exchange blows. And Shinonome just kind of breezily just dodges to Kikoru's side with a fwish. He's like, ugh, she threw off my rhythm. She kind of just points her staff at Kikoru's throat. And you have platoon leader Shinonome. She excels at gaining distance when needed. No wonder she can wield that giant firearm in battle. And you have I'm so bored. God, why can I not remember this asshole's name? Give me a second here. I feel like I should not have forgotten him so quickly. Who the hell was this? No, where the hell is this? Oh, Narumi. Can't believe I forgot Narumi's name. Is he Narumi was just fucking laid on a beach chair with a nice little fruit drink next to him, with a little parasol, giving him some shade as he's playing some games. We have a dram, prap, 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 and a bang. And he goes, man, I wonder when you get to a level where I can take you on myself. Here's Kikoro just angry as the veins twitching in her face. And he goes, every 1st Division platoon leader is talented enough to someday reach the rank of captain. I'll give you about a month, the time it'll take for me to beat this game. In that time, expect you to surpass all of them. unless you're that caliber of prodigy, you're not going to cut it. It's like, now, let's get this game started. And as Baldy second in command just kicks Narumi out of the chair and goes, you need to get started on your work. And Kikora goes, platoon leader Shinonome, one more round if you please. She goes, sheesh, eager to surpass me by the deadline, is she? Now that I have a subordinate laying on the heat, I can't help but get all fired up. She goes, bring it on. They start exchanging a flurry of blows again. You have, well, have you made up your mind about how to handle Kaiju number 8? Now that Mr. Asao is no longer with us, the decision to accept number 8 as part of our forces or not lies solely with you. And you see a beep, 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 beep. As Captain Narumi, Vice Captain Hasagawa, we have an update on number 8. And you have, his Kaijuification is progressing. We see Kafka strapped up to a medical bed with all these little monitors on him. As Narumi and Hasagawa walk in. You have, yes sir, there's now a spot on his body that won't revert to human form. Okay, so that little black strip we saw on his hand last chapter is basically kaiju skin that hasn't transformed back. You have, while I can't say for certain given the unprecedented nature of this event, should he continue to transform, then eventually he might not be able to return to human form ever again. You have them just kind of silently in shock. You see out on the roof, Kafka's just sitting on a bench as they goes, I'm guessing they found out about my hand. Will the defense force even allow me to keep fighting? And he goes, I don't want to see my comrades hurt anymore. I have to take number 9 down. And you see a creak as Narumi just comes and silently sits on the bench next to Kafka. And he goes, I'll get to the point. We can't let you stay in the defense force. I'm sure you know the reason why. If you keep transforming, you might lose the ability to return to human form. I can't let someone fight in that condition. Kafka's gritting his teeth. He goes, I knew it, but even so he's just kind of like gripping his hand really tight. And Rumi goes, that being said, with all that in mind, let me say this. Yes. And this awesome colored double page spread, you have Rumi just coming up and hoisting Kafka up by the uniform as he goes, lend me your power, Kafka Hibino. I don't give a damn if you completely turn into a kaiju. If you do, I'll just kill you. What matters most is neutralizing number 9 by any means necessary. You feel the same way, don't you? Only ones who understand the burden we bear are the people who were out there that day, us. There's no way you'd ever sit here and tell me you're backing out. I have a place that I'm trying to reach. Against everyone's opposition, the Director General helped forge a path for me to get there. And you see Kafka just look of determination, anger, as he just clasps his hands and goes, I am ready and willing, sir. Rumi goes, that's so. Then come with me. From here on out, it's the Defense Force's turn to strike back. God, I need to look up what's-his-face's name again because my brain is just refusing to cooperate. Where are you? Just give me a second here. Coming. Wait, Hoshina. And we pick up with Tachikawa City, Tokyo. And you see doors marked with 36. As you see, so you're finally awake, eh? You sure had one sound nap, didn't you? Of course they would do that. And you see Kaiju number 10. Oh, so glad wasn't the last we'd seen of him. As you see his body and his spine and assume part of his core in one of those water tanks being just like probed at by machines. This is not going to end well for them. So I guess we're entering in to the next arc. So not a lot to say because again this is kind of a transitionary chapter. but it does make me wonder if we're going to get a time skip of some kind with fucking banging next door with the series, because I feel like we need one, especially for both Kikoro and Kafka, to kind of do a little training montage and get better, so that we can see kind of like their new skills and whatever that they build for the next arc. I'm still curious to see if Kikoro is eventually going to be able to take on her mother's kaiju armor weapon, whatever she was using. So I'm wondering if she's going to be training up to eventually be able to fight with that, which will be kind of interesting to see. With regards to Kafka, I wonder if the transformation, or at least the kaijification, started when he started going berserk, and I feel like that's what I feel like it's eventually going to turn out to be. Is the more the more times he goes berserk, the more the kaiju takes over, the more the more of his body transforms into a kaiju, and the harder it is for him to transform back into a human. I feel like that's the route we're going to be going towards eventually. We'll see if that's what it is, because I'm still kind of interested in seeing him kind of hybridizing or learning to fight alongside his kaiju power, finding out what it actually is and how it operates and everything. So that should be interesting to see if we're going to delve more into that with this. Apart from that, I was hoping it wasn't the last we'd seen of number 10, so I'm kind of glad that we got confirmation that, it makes sense. Of course, the Kaiju Defense Force would have caught up, taken off the remains of number 10 to experiment on, find out, probably try to see if they could turn him into a weapon as well. So the fact that Hoshina is apparently talking to him makes me wonder if, it's Kaiju number 10 is slowly regenerating his bits and pieces, and if they're trying to interrogate him for information, or I wonder if Hoshina is going to make a weapon out of Kaiju number 10 that he potentially going to be able to use. We'll see where it leads out, but like I said, I don't think it's going to end anywhere well. We'll see where the next arc does, what setup leads to and everything. But yeah, looking forward to the next chapter and the next arc. We'll see how that goes. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, as soon as this is finished uploading, look forward to having an Ascender video coming out as well. I think I saw the Spy Family, the new chapters, because I know the last Spy Family chapter was just kind of like a quick little kind of an extra chapter. Wasn't really relevant plot-wise, so I think a new chapter is supposed to drop tomorrow, so expect a video on that. Hopefully dropping sometime tomorrow evening. Apart from that, as always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'd still love to get past the 150 subscriber limit again. So if anyone wants to help me with that, that would be greatly appreciated. And until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.